Welcome to Red Zone DC Media. I am Deuce. Got my man DT to my my left over there. Yeah, what's good, man? Like we got some news, man. Like today gonna be crazy, right? So today is actually Enters the Lab. So we're gonna switch to Enters the Lab in about 15 minutes or so. We're still continuing our NFL free agency run. We got free agents from all we have friends from different fan bases all week, and we got more today. We get that list. We got 49ers in the buildings. We got Patriots. We got the Dolphins. We got the Texans. That's Snuggins. We got K-Mac. We got J-Mick. We got Black Texans girl that's going to be joining us later. And, of course, DT, C. Henry, and the Lady E. They're going to be coming up in just a minute. But before we get started and switching over to today, man, bruh.
Yeah,
Sam
some
Howell
news.
trade? It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy times in DC, man. Crazy times in DC.
It's crazy, man. Let me pull up. So basically, what it was two pick swaps, right? Um,
Mhm.
uh, let me get the exact picks, but I thought I had it up. I should have had it up. But we sent Sam Howell to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks receive um Sam Howell, a fourth round pick, number 42, and a sixth round pick, 179. We receive a third round pick, number 78, and a fifth pick, 152.
Two.
And Albert Breer had a clear breakdown of it. Um, let me see where it is. Oh, where you put it at? It was simple too. Um, I think the first pick was like 27 spots. We moved up 27 spots. And I think the second was like we moved up 24 spots. So we didn't gain extra picks, but the value of our picks changed. We took a fourth round pick, moved it in the third, went up 27 spots. We took a sixth round pick, went in the fifth, moved up 24 spots. So the value of those picks changed. So I mean, what do you think? Like, what do you think that means, man? A lot of people are saying we getting collateral to move up for Caleb. I just don't know what Brian Pose is doing, but what's your thought process on the trade?
Man, I mean, this was first of all, it was a shocker, but not a shocker. I mean, I think kind of the writing was on the wall with the Marcus Mariota signing, and a couple of people were talking about, it's possibility that somehow might get shipped off. And we talked about it even earlier, like possibilities of him getting traded. What can he bring back? And a lot of people said if he could bring a third, um, they'll do it. Well, this guy brought a third, and even though it is a fifth round pick, it's a fifth round pick that is basically two spots away from 150. So in the draft, you got about 200 and what 59 ish players that's getting possibly drafted. You got Adam Peters coming over here, and they're going to be able to evaluate the talent in the draft and evaluate and get the roster the way they wanted to do. This was a plus trade, not only for the fact to basically move up picks 20 spots, but you're kind of doing due diligence and giving Sam Howell an opportunity to go to another good organization and possibly get a chance to eventually develop the right way and probably become a future starter somewhere down the line in his career. So this was a great trade. Pretty excited for what Peters has done with this roster overall and the ammo we have for this year and the years to come.
Yeah, man, like it works for both sides. Like when you think about Seattle, I think they'll receive Sam Howell with open arms, even though there was a Seattle space open. I heard that they was going crazy. They don't like it. Because I don't think this takes away them from going quarterback early. Somebody like Michael Penix Fall, Bo
Mm.
Nix, or somebody like I still don't think that this takes away from it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does because you have Sam Howell, you gave up these picks, but not really. right? You gave up spats, like we talked about the 27 and 24 spats. So it's really not like if he doesn't work out year one, or he doesn't beat out Brissett, or if he doesn't beat out the rookie, it's okay. You gave up a few spots to take a chance. But if their goal not to go quarterback early, they have Sam Howell. I don't think, I mean, not Brissett, Geno Smith. I'm sorry, Geno Smith. So when you have them, up there. If they do decide to run with Geno Smith for a few weeks just to see what Sam Howell has, they can absolutely do that. But at the same time, they did give up assets, even though it's only picks, but still they have to make a decision on him. He has 2 years. He had 2 years. He's going into his third year. So if they are looking for this guy to be the franchise, if they looking for this guy to be a hit like Russell Wilson, they have to play him early.
Yeah, and based off of Geno's contract that he got, I believe it was last year, around this time, it was basically written in the shape of, okay, only have a couple years with you, and we're eventually going to find a guy that we're going to train up to be our future quarterback. And that's still a high possibility. I do agree with you, Deuce. I still don't think that shouldn't diminish the fact that Seattle should look into this quarterback class since it's pretty strong. Obviously, the offensive coordinator for the Seattle, he went to Washington, and guess who was playing quarterback at Washington last year in the national championship? Michael Penix Jr. So there's definitely some strong ties right there, but also Bo Nix is definitely an option as well. But I think this is a good, healthy opportunity to have a young guy who just turned 23. Sam Howell, he has 17 games of experience. You've seen the good, but you also seen the bad. And, can they have a plan for him as well and possibly, be that guy in Seattle? So we'll wait to see.
Yeah, I can't wait and to actually see, what they do up there. But I ain't really looking like that. Sam Howell is gone. Now it's us. Like, what are we gonna do, right? I mean, some people looking at we is for to move up one spot. Some people saying is to make the locker room a little more less awkward with Drake May. You know what I'm saying? So it's two ways to look at it depending on which side you want to come. Is definitely an argument for both sides. For me, I just like what Adam Peters is doing, man. Like, he's doing a heck of a job. And one of my favorite signings so far, and everyone that's joined us, everyone that's watching on Twitter, everyone that's in the chats, we're just talking about Sam Howell before we start the Interest the Lab show with DTC Henry and the Lady E, bringing on some fans that you all are familiar with from Twitter to talk about their teams. We're going to have Snuggins in the building. We're going to have K-Mac. We're going to have J Mick. We're going to have Houston Texans girl. So we're going to have all of them joining the show today. They're going to talk about all NFL. So please stay tuned to that. It's going to start up in a few minutes. But and we're going to talk about more Commanders on tomorrow. But I really like the signing of this is my favorite sign. I forgot got the guy name of the special teams guy from Detroit. Help me out.
His name Anthony?
Michael. Yep. Anthony. Yeah. Anthony. Michael Anthony. It's one of them funny names. And he's not really like, and somebody can put it in the chat if y'all can help me out real quick. Because I'm running around. But I really like that signing of a special teams person, because when you're looking at teams that's successful, right? You have three phases of the game, right? You have football. I mean, you have offense, you have defense, you have special teams. And with us over the years, when it came to special teams, we kind of neglected it, right? It was always, if you wasn't good at your position on offense, or if you wasn't good at your position on defense, Michael Pittman. No, not Michael Pittman. Anthony Pittman. Anthony Pittman. So, if you wasn't good, then all right, let's throw him on special teams and let's try him on special teams. But these guys, like, when you have people that play special teams, you really want them to want to play special teams, right? And that's what we have. They signed back All Pro Rebo. He loves playing special teams. He wants to play special teams. You have Sip. You have Revo. I mean, you have Percy. You have Christian Holmes. These guys excel at playing on special teams. So now you have to bring in another backer. You bring in this guy that excelled in special teams over the last couple years in Detroit. You bring them in. You solidify that special teams, and you are actually getting players specifically for what you want them to do, not secondary. And this is what I like about Adam Peters and how he's doing. And this is why this is one of my favorite moves, because it's showing that they looked at the special teams, they looked at the tape, and they say, you know what, we need to upgrade here. This is not good enough. Let's sign back to All Pro Revo. Let's go out there and get someone else to complement him, along with what else, with everything else that we have.
Yeah, I agree. Pittman definitely a solid player for special teams. Also played in Detroit. Newark, he came from Detroit as well. I still think for particular reasons in terms of still trying to shape up the roster just a little bit. I like to see a vet corner. I see the kid from New Orleans who used to play for the Giants. He's visiting us. I liked him. He had a solid year for New Orleans. Be a nice addition to add in that backfield. And tackle, I don't think they're going to tackle in free agency, man. I think the writings on the wall is they're definitely going to invest in the tackles in this draft.
Yeah, man, like that's the thing. Like you have the Tyron Smith, John Jones. That's somebody that I definitely want. I'd rather have him from the Texans. He hasn't signed back with them yet. He's someone that I definitely want that can play, right tackle. He can play left. He can be kind of like a swing guy. They still might bring back Lucas, but he's a little older. I like Trent Scott, but there's no one on this team that I want to start at tackle. Nobody. Last year started Wiley. Hopefully they move him to guard. Like he don't need to be in no tackle meetings or nothing. I want him nowhere near the edges of the offensive line. So it might be something where we go tackle early and then we end up having to go tackle again, or like we might have to go 2 tackles on day 2. I mean, we got these extra picks, the extra third, so we got 5 picks. Then we got 6 picks in the first 100. So 2 of those might be on tackle if they don't use anything to move up. So I'm really kind of like intrigued about, interested in what he wants to do, because so far we've been wrong all the way around when it comes to what Adam Peters is doing.
Yep. And for those that probably question, why would you get 2 tackles that are rookies? Well, Seattle did that formula a couple years ago when they drafted Charles Cross, and they snuck goal with Abraham Lucas from Washington State, and both of them are starting. Now, I know they signed George Fant because mainly it's been injuries, but those 2 guys turned out to be, pretty solid players so far throughout their young career. So I think just how good this tackle class is. I mean, you might be talking about like trading up in the first round, Deuce. To be honest with you, got guys like Tyler Guyton, Noah Maris Mims. His stock is definitely going to rise up. It could probably be top 15 pick with all the traits he has. But this definitely a great tackle class, and also Troy Furtado from Washington. A lot of names in this tackle class definitely could see what Peters could cook up, or we could also talk about one thing like this before we head over. So obviously Curtis just signed with the Buffalo Bills. That's kind of the contract I predicted he was going to get in the market. Wide receiver. I know we still have Jahan, we still have Terry, but definitely when you look after those positions, you're kind of like, okay, so what are you thinking about in terms of like, it be okay with getting one of those high quality wide receivers on day 2, or possibly packaging those picks to get a guy?
Yeah, that's possible, especially if there's someone down there that they like. Someone down there that they like that's still there in the around the 20s or something like that. Definitely, like that's definitely a possibility. But again, everyone that's joining on Twitter, out there on Facebook and on YouTube, definitely appreciate all you stopping by. But please stay. We about to switch over to Enters the Lab podcast. We got talking all NFL. We got guests coming up from from all over the NFL. We can't wait to talk some ball with y'all. So on the other side of this, we're gonna have Enters the Lab.
My fault. What happened? I'm eating Popeye.
This man says he's eating some Popeyes. Commercial.
I'm ready for a break.
Save this clip.
Wipe your hands. Wipe your hands.
Commercial.
We over here about to die of thirst over here.
Thing on the menu today, bro, and that's work. That's work for 60 minutes, bro. That's the only job we got to do today, bro. What you playing for? What you playing for? What you playing for? What y'all?
Get real lonely with the mic on, bro. Just want to talk to my friends.
And welcome. I'm hosting the show now. I got the guy. This is Enters the Lab podcast presented by RedzoneDCMedia. We got the crew up here today. Lady E, Deuce. I don't know where C. Henry at.
Pulling the C. Henry right now. I'm pulling the C. Henry. How y'all gonna sit up here and bring me up when I'm trying to get prepared? Jesus.
Hey, you better get prepared after we ask you in the group chat. Your boy Kirko out there shirtless already, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You got the iced out.
Yeah.
You ain't talking about I used the old one with a new one that Jesus Christ. This guy.
But it is a good Thursday afternoon with the crew. You got Deuce up here. I believe this is what your fifth appearance on the show, other than times when C. Henry say something crazy, you gotta pop out nowhere on audio.
That's crazy.
But look, free agency has been going crazy. This week, we have a lot of storylines. So obviously, we're going to talk with the most prized position in all the sports right now. It is the quarterback position. So, Atlanta.
Don't come over here.
Why not?
Don't come over here.
Look, hey, we gotta start with y'all. Every time I turn around, I see it all over the place. Let's start with Atlanta. So, E, you guys made the move. It wasn't Justin Fields, but it was Kirk Cousins. Give us your initial reaction the first time you heard about it, and give us your overall reaction now after the deal was completed, and your overall thoughts within the fan base about Kirk Cousins leading this Falcon team.
So my first reaction was, now y'all know I'm Jamaican and I don't smoke, but I wanted every type of anything, Newports, menthols. I wanted it all. I was stressed when I heard that. I even got into a shot of mouth with Phoenix. Me and Phoenix was going back and forth about it. Yeah, it was a huge shocker because, again, there was the rumor mill that his wife is from Atlanta. He was looking to come back. They were looking for houses out here. They were looking for schools for their kids. So we're just thinking, oh, okay, well, hey, she can live here in the off season. He'll be up there in Minnesota or wherever he's going to be at, whatever. So again, we weren't trying to believe the hype until it came out. When it came out, that's when it hit the fan. But because the contract didn't come out automatically, when the contract came out, I think that's when I started on my second pack of menthols, and was stressed because I was like 4 years, like 90 minutes, 4 years. So yeah, I was back stressed again. But once I looked at the contract and kind of understood what they were doing and how they're moving, I said, go get my quarterback. That's all I need y'all to do. Go get my quarterback this draft, and I will be fine at that point, because again, he's not going to be here the full 4 years. That's number one. It's really technically a 2-year deal. He just got his money up front, which is, hey, get your money, go on, we'll pay you, whatever. You know what I mean? So he did that. A lot of people were saying that he fleeced, he finessed. that's fine. He can fleece finesse again. I like the route that we're going. You get the vet, bring him in. You get somebody that can automatically get you into the playoffs. Yes, he's not going to take us to the Super Bowl, but he's going to get us into the playoffs, make us more of a contention team. And then we're going to sit over here and go back and, in a sense, have our guy, the future of the franchise, sit, learn, and then trot him out there in 2026, maybe even 2025. Who knows? It just depends on Kirko. But other than that, we just fingers crossed that we get at least the Kirk that was, pre-injury, not the post-injury Kirk. And then that deal is going to kind of backfire on us. And yes, 3 packs of menthols. Okay, y'all leave me alone. I was stressed.
Yeah, but further, what's good, Snoogans, man? Glad to have you on the show, bro.
Oh yeah, man. No, first and foremost, yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, happy to be here, man. And just shout out to the Atlanta Falcon fan that I was just talking on a personal level. I would have been a little more stressed if I was a Falcon fan, I wouldn't gotten Justin Fields. But hey, we all have our differences. But I think it was a smart signing. But yeah, no, but I'm happy to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think the reason why is, again, the fact, like, we don't want to be like the Indianapolis Colts or anybody else that has to sit over here and keep kicking the can with vets. Sure. And I'm like, look, give me the youth first, and we'll work out the struggles later. But Kirk actually fits our system. You got to think too. We got a rookie OC. Like, he's brand new at this job. Ease him in. He gets a vet. Can be a little bit easier, while he can also focus on the rookie and grooming him to the way that he needs him to be. So again, I love I love it now, because I'm just like, okay, cool. Now go give me my edge, and we straight. Like, go give me my edges. That's what I need, and I'm good. But again, we have to get a quarterback this year. We cannot keep prolonging this and waiting until next year and different things like that. We have to get the quarterback this year. So again, even though I don't like this take, Spencer Rattler might be a good fit in the A. He might, and I'm pushing it because I'm not a big Spencer Rattler fan. If Penix is there, I'm cool with that as well. But if it has to be like a Spencer Rattler type, fingers crossed, because again, we just shipped Desmond off today, and I don't want to ship another one off. I don't have a problem with getting rid of people that I don't want.
That's fair.
Yeah, what's good, C. Henry? You just came in on the conversation. Yeah, I know you got questions today. So your initial reaction and your overall reaction now that Kirk Cousins is now signed a deal with the Atlanta Falcons.
Man, man, I'm a Kirk the Jerk fan, man. I think it's a good move as long as he's healthy. I think that, he has history with Zach Robinson, or history in that offense. Atlanta's at a point where, they're coming off a 7-win season. They're ready to take that next step. He's got weapons there. They've got a defense that can get better and, possibly be top 15 in the league. So I'm a fan of the move. If he's healthy, I mean, they got the best guy you could possibly get on the market.
Okay, I agree with that. So I wasn't mad about it, but I definitely felt the words of reason from E talk about, just trying to get a young guy on a rookie deal that you can develop and have your own. But I think this Falcons team, they showed some things last year. I was very impressed. The talent is there offensively. They had a top 10 defense that nobody really talked about. They do need a edge rusher, which I definitely can see that now, especially with acquiring Rondale Moore from the Cardinals, and also adding more speed and some versatility in that wide receiver room. So kind of makes it a little bit of an option now to get an edge rusher to go with that defense to make it a little bit better. But definitely keep an eye out for day 2, possibly trying to get a young guy to groom for the future.
Yeah. Yep. I'm happy for it. Just give me my edge, okay? I'll take first at number 8. Give my edge. That's all I need. And I ain't
All
got to
right.
smoke no more menthols. I ain't gonna smoke no more.
Yeah,
Oh
we'll
no,
need
not the
you.
menthols. Oh no, Kirk ain't had you out here like that, did he?
Kirk
Yes,
had
he
me
is.
out here like that. Kirk had me. I was stressed.
Y'all gonna be all right. Y'all gonna be
All
all
right,
right.
so kind of done with that big news. That was kind of big news diving up to me. But Snookers, let's go ahead and talk about the San Francisco 49ers. So, you guys were just in the Super Bowl. You lost in a thriller against the Kansas City Chiefs. You guys have a couple of moves that happened. One of them that was kind of surprising me was Armstead, the defensive tackle, being released. Do you know the true reason why he got released? Was it more of like a cap casualty thing or not restructuring his deal? What are some things that your fan base that talk about with that?
Yeah, no. So Armstead, obviously, so we'll get out of the way. He was a great play for us for 9 years. He was the longest tenured guy. Now falls onto Kittle and Juszczyk as the longest tenured Niners currently on the roster. But it really came down to a little bit of what you said, the cap for sure. But also just really what it came down to is, it's sometimes, even though it's hard to move on from a guy because, he's yours, right? You drafted him, turn him into this guy. He's getting up there in age. He's missed some games like he did this year. Technically his last regular season game he played was the game against the Eagles. And he really did play that game hurt. But, with what happened the prior year, obviously all of our guys try to, buckle forward and for that game. He has plantar fasciitis in one of his feet, and he's coming off meniscus surgery. And when you're 32, he's a bigger guy. He's about 6, he's close to 6'6". I just think it was one of those things where we allocated that money, it would have pretty much just would have went to just him. And we've been able to basically bring in 3 defensive tackles, or you could say 3 defensive linemen, basically with that money. Another reason too is one of the things that we did kind of struggle with, especially when he was out, and then as a lot of people saw in 2 of the 3 playoff games, our run defense just wasn't the same last year. And part of the reason why was once he was out, the depth just wasn't there. So it looks like to me what we've been doing this offseason is we said, you know what, we're going to have to make a couple tough choices, which obviously he was one of them. And we're going to go ahead and do kind of like they say like quantity over quality. I guess not that the players weren't quality, but just giving some more depth at that position. When you brought in the defensive tackle who ranked 6th last year in, run stop rate for the guy from the Browns. Obviously, we traded for Malik Collins, who was very good for the Texans last year. So I just think it was a combination of all those things. But yeah, I'm happy he got paid today by Jacksonville. Doesn't have to deal with the California state taxes anymore for a couple of years. But other than that, man, it was just a combination of all those things.
So
Gotcha.
I have a question. Leonard Floyd, where do y'all see him going for you guys? Because I know he's kind of been team hopping a little bit.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think right now, if you were to roll out a depth chart, he probably would be penciled in as the starter.
Okay.
But I also know deep down that I know he's not per se to be like a dominant run defender. He is obviously very, you could say he's good to very good at getting after the pass rusher. I mean, he's gotten pretty much double-digit sacks 4 years in a row. I think one of the years he had like 9 or 9.5. So I would imagine we're going to use him a little bit like the Bills and Rams did. Remember that he did play with Staley in Chicago and also when Staley was the Rams DC. Yeah. So, and in those years, and even last year when he was productive with Buffalo, usually he's productive when he's surrounded by guys. And obviously he's going to be playing with Hargraves and Bosa. But I would imagine, honestly, deep down, I think wouldn't be surprised if we're still trying to find one more edge. I know we like the Matos guy, the Gross Matos guy we signed from the Panthers. But again, I don't know if, we're going to pencil him in as a starter and then kind of bring in Floyd in certain situations. But it looks like right now Floyd would be the other edge opposite Bosa. And, we would bring in Matos and stuff like that when needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quick question for you.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about your cornerbacks? I know Ward is coming off a Pro Bowl year. But how do you guys feel about your cornerbacks, and what do you guys think that you need to do on your offensive line going into next year?
So the corner room, our 2 main corners, who are Mooney Ward or Travaris Ward and Lenore, we're very comfortable with. They both had really good seasons, as you pointed out. Ward, I think, had his first or his second, Pro Bowl season. I think he was a second team All Pro as well. He had a really good year. That if Wilkes brought anything to the table this past season, he definitely improved our secondary 100%. So kudos to that. So we're comfortable with the two starters. Now the nickel corners are a different story. We do have Ambry Thomas on the roster. We have Samuel Womack, somebody we drafted a couple years ago. Actually, I believe in the same draft we took Thomas, and then we took another corner last year in Darrell Luter from South Alabama, who we're actually really, really high on. Didn't play last year. He played special teams and stuff like that, but we had other just depth behind him, in front of him and things like that. But that is actually a position that I am kind of, if we're going to do one more splashy thing before the draft, I think it's going to be in the secondary. I think it would either be a corner or a safety. So then maybe we could put Jair a little bit more towards the line of the, closer to the line of scrimmage. The safety we took from Penn State last year. But that is definitely an area that we're certainly looking at because I don't think deep down we're fully comfortable with Ambry Thomas having to be the starter again. Sure, we'd be okay with it, but I think if we could find a different route, we want to go that route. And then for the offensive line, we extended our right tackle. We still have the right guard, a couple years ago on the roster. I'm surprised we haven't re-signed Feliciano yet. Maybe he's just kind of playing the waiting game just to make sure nobody else kind of gives him an overpay offer. Because I think as we've all seen offensive linemen, not that they're not important, because as Bill Parcells says, if you don't have an offensive line, you don't have a team. But there have been a couple offensive linemen who've gotten overpaid. I think that's okay to say. Shout out to the Carolina Panthers. But I at this point in time, the way this offseason is shaping up, and as I said, and I think we're kind of going to go after a secondary guy here in the next few days. It looks like our draft is going to mainly be geared towards getting that offensive line a little beefed up and maybe even adding another weapon. We have 10 picks. We had 11, but we traded one of the 7th to get Malik Collins. So I don't see us keeping 10 players out of the draft. So I wouldn't be surprised if we try to trade up. Maybe that's when offensive linemen will come in. Maybe somebody that we like falls to us at 31. But it looks like we're going to be using the draft to add a couple offensive linemen.
That was going to actually be my question. So thank you for answering that.
No, yeah, of course. No, of course.
So, Snooze, what is the status? So, Snooze, what is the status on Brandon Ayuk in the front office right now? If I'm not mistaken, he did get tagged. So, where are the team at in terms of trying to get a long-term deal done with him?
Well, I'm sorry. And that's Kobe, my dog.
There's some dogs in the house.
He's a 25-pound Shih Tzu, but he thinks he's a 50-pound pit bull. So I'm sorry. So Brandon Ayuk, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I would be really, really surprised if Brandon Ayuk is not a 49er for the next few years. Typically, the way this regime has worked, we've done all of our extensions. You can go back and look. We did Kittle, we did Debo. Trying to think of a couple others under this regime we did Fred Warner. All of them were summertime extensions. One of the things that we did do with Armstead is he's going to be a June 1st technically designation, to be officially released. And that's going to free up $18 million in cap. That we're all pretty much understanding that's probably going to be used to extend Ayuk. I would think, sir, the only way that Brandon Ayuk will not be a 49er this upcoming season is if some team absolutely blows us away with an offer. And that would probably be a first-round pick, probably within the first 15. Like, it's going to have to be an offer like that. Like a second-round pick wouldn't get it done. Because the thing is unfortunately, he doesn't really have a lot of leverage. He's under contract still, and we can pick up the 5th year. So, knowing how that goes, it's a tricky situation as always, but I would be a little surprised he's not extended come the summertime.
So it's interesting you said that about IU because we heard some rumblings in the last couple of days about the Ravens possibly reaching out to you guys regarding Debo. What do you feel about Debo and his contract situation? Is he someone that could be possibly moved due to financial considerations? Because you guys got a lot of mouths to feed over there right now.
No, we do for sure. So the Ravens thing was actually kind of, I don't know if it was a PR spin on the Ravens GM's part, but he kind of shot it down today. I kind of got the same rumblings too that the Ravens never really called for him. Now, I was kind of flirted to the idea that when we were attempting to get Brian Burns, or when we at least made that phone call, It sounds like the Panthers started to ask for him, and I think that's kind of when the talk stopped from our end. They're like, okay, well, if you're going to want Debo for us to get Burns, then then we won't really go further with this. Debo, again, I could see him being moved next year. I've told a lot of Niner fans that I would not be shocked if going into next season, our main offensive core is Purdy, Ayuk, and CMC. But with the way this is set up right now and the way that we can do it maybe one more time with this core, again, kind of like Ayuk, I'd be a little surprised he's moved. But if he was moved, and this will be a massive hint for everybody who's wondering, it would definitely be after June 1st because two things will happen there. That's going to save us $22 million and only give us $6 million in dead cap. So I will say this much. If you see the 49ers in this draft right now coming up, take a really well-known receiver, not some guy in the 4th round that, you're hoping like we're talking like one of the big 4 or 5 names that you can think of. If you see that guy drafted by the 49ers, if I was Debo, I would start to get a little nervous. But if that doesn't happen, and I think the idea and hope is we're going to try to roll it out one more time with the big 4 of Kittle, CMC, Ayuk, and Debo for one more season. Because remember, we don't really have to pay Purdy until next year.
So that's interesting you say that because in a draft that's really, really deep in receivers.
Right.
I mean, there could be somebody who slips through to that 3rd or 4th, that 3rd or 4th round and with a year to kind of sit behind and soak up game and, develop. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but that's a great point. I'm sorry, Lady E. What were you saying?
No, I said we had actually had a conversation about that in our spaces about when it was going to be a proper time to pay Purdy because contract is coming up. When will that when will that be like a grand idea to help you guys when it comes down to the money situation? But again, like what would his contract look like? Because he's a 7th round pick,
Right.
Mr. Irrelevant. And again, he has taken you guys far, but can we consider him up there with like the Joey Burrows, the Justin Herberts, or is he going to kind of get like a Daniel Jones is type deal of what the Giants got? So it was kind of like a back and forth. But where do you see that contract could be since you don't have to pay him next year? Where will that money kind of look like for him?
I mean, I think 2 things are going to come into play with his contract. I think how he not that he's not going to get one, but how he does obviously next year. If he has another season, because this year he set the record for passing yards in the season for us as a franchise, stuff like that. So if he really kind of quote unquote pops off again and maybe has like another 4,000 yard season, and then on top of that, he obviously like stays healthy and stuff like that. I would imagine. It's in the market, then the market too. We have to consider the market. So, I mean, but I would think somewhere kind of like you mentioned, maybe in the vein of maybe a little more than say maybe a Daniel Jones and maybe not like as quite as high as you might want to go with like a Herbert. Not that I don't think he's a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. I absolutely think he is. But it kind of depends too. But I will say that I do know that our front office will be creative with his contract, same way we were with Bosa. For as much money as we gave Bosa, his contract really doesn't blow up as far as the cap hit until 26. He's only a $14 million cap hit this season. And that's like in the vein of edge rushers, especially his caliber, that's like beyond, that's a bargain, really.
Yeah, that is a bargain.
So I'm sure we're going to structure Purdy's contract to be the same way where, it's going to take like a year or two for it really, really is like a massive cap hit. But the market's going to dictate a lot. But I would think it will probably, I'm sure he'll average out somewhere within the top like 6 or 7, maybe top 8 when it's all said and done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Purdy about to get that bag.
Yeah, man.
He has to.
Yeah, 24 years old, coming off of UCL, bro. And I mean, we all saw how he played. I mean, homer talk or not, man. I mean, it's hard to ignore what the kid's done now at this point in time. It's basically 2 seasons worth of evidence, or at least a season and a half. And I mean, if people are a quarterback win stat guy, he's already got more playoff wins than some quarterbacks that I know you guys think are better than him. So, shout out to him, man.
Yeah, so. I mean, he was in the MVP conversation. Some people might have him in the middle of the pack of the quarterbacks. Again, give us another great season like that, then we can have that conversation. Like I do agree. I don't think that he'll be like on the Daniel Jones level of a contract, but give us another season like that, it's going to be kind of hard not to have that conversation to give him a little bit more guarantee, like you said. So,
No, for sure.
yeah. So, I noticed you mentioned too. You didn't mention George Kittle when you rolled onto next year. So, do you guys have your eyes on a tight end to replace him?
I don't know who that tight end is yet, but I do know we have been trying to find one in free agency, and I don't know if that means via trade to help be the guy, like the behind Kittle, or I can tell you we drafted 2 last year. We took the Latu kid from Alabama, who some were high on, some weren't, and then we took Willis from Oklahoma. Now Latu you didn't see him a lot because he got hurt, and I think it was one of the preseason games. And then we just kept him on IR. I mean, we could have brought him back, but we had 3 other tight ends, on the roster at the time. So it really wasn't like a necessary thing. So I think we're banking a little bit on him to see where he's going to go. And I would not be surprised, and I've told a lot of Niner fans this, that, we have 6 picks in the first 4 rounds with 3 being in the 4th. I would bet a large amount of money that we're going to take a tight end with one of those first 6 picks. It doesn't mean Kittle's going to automatically be gone next year, but just at some point in time, you got to think about the future,
Yeah.
And I just didn't mention him. I mean, I feel like Kittle's one of those guys that he just I don't think Kittle's never not going to be Niner until it's just his time to maybe retire or maybe go finish out the last couple of years of his career somewhere. But I definitely think tight end, quote unquote, finding the future guy, I think that's going to be pretty high on our list going into this draft.
Yeah, I agree. Kansas got to do the same thing for Kelsey, so that's why I was wondering, when are y'all going to have to make that decision? So yeah.
Yeah, and the Ravens kind of did it when they took Likely, I mean, Andrews is still very productive, but if they decide to move off of Andrews in a year or 2, they know they have Likely on the roster. So
exactly,
I would imagine the same kind of situation will happen with us.
All right, I got 2 final questions, and we're going to get ready to let you go. I know you got things to do. So this one for C. Henry, though. I don't know why this question was asked. Are you guys looking at quarterbacks in this draft this year? I know you guys drafted Hendon Hooker, but
yeah, I think we're looking at we may be looking at somebody long term. Maybe we'll come across a Brock Purdy or something late in the draft. We may throw send a lottery ticket out there. But I think right now we're going to kind of concentrate on getting golf extended and probably seeing what we have in Hendon Hooker this offseason. So I think that's where we're at.
Got you. And Snoogs, this last question for you. Right now, you guys are the 31st pick in the NFL draft. What do you think?
Unfortunately,
will go. I wish I can get to that point one day. But what do you guys think the 49ers will do with that pick?
If somebody told me it's a lock that we're going to stay at 31, based on how free agency's gone, I would assume right now it's going to be an offensive lineman or maybe a defensive tackle of one of those few that are people are high on fall. I would put a lot of stock into being a trench guy. Now, based on free agency, I would put a little more money if you were betting that would be an offensive lineman guy. But I do think it's going to be a trench guy, man. I mean, I think this regime has shown that they believe, you win up front. That's how you win. And I just feel like we haven't gone crazy in free agency with offensive linemen because I really think with those 10 picks, we're going to use the first couple of them to try to shore that up. So if I had to make a guess, I would say a trench guy, and I would lean towards an offensive lineman.
Okay.
All right, got you. Well, we appreciate your time appearing on Answers to That podcast, and you are very much welcome to come back and talk ball with us, bro. You're one of the best guys on Twitter. I listen to you in the space and stuff. And you know when it comes to the 49ers and in the NFL.
I appreciate it, man. No, like I said, I really do appreciate you having me on. I'll come back anytime. Just let me know. But yeah, like I said, but shout out to the Niners. I appreciate you guys again. And yeah, this was great, man. I appreciate it.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Bang, gang. Let's go. Let's go.
Good night.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
All right. Later.
All right. That was some good information learning about what the 49ers are looking at this offseason. I was very surprised by the Armstead thing a little bit, but listening to that conversation, it kind of clears some things up. But another emphasis to note, I definitely think offensive line and the trenches will definitely be addressed with the 49ers in this offseason. We've seen, Trent Williams, he's the main stalwart. They have some guys, but they held their own. But clearly there's some times they lose their battle and stuff like that. And also with the whole defensive tackle, you got guys like Gazelle Newton from Illinois that could possibly be a good option for that vaunted defensive line.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, because they have to kind of be strategic on how they do stuff. Because again, you got the Purdy contract coming up. They got to pay Ayuk. They just got rid of some cap money right there. No lie. You know what I mean? They got to do that. Shout out to them cowgirls right now because Jerry got y'all looking sad.
Hey, you know what I say?
Hey.
You know what I say about the Cowboys? You know how like you go to a store and you ain't got much money? My grandma always say you window shopping.
They some window shoppers.
They're gonna stop talking bad about them Cowboys. I mean, they're gonna be able to get it. It is surprisingly it's not looking good right now. Jerry, you told me you was gonna be all in. Oh man, what happened, man? What's going on? Jerry told us he was gonna be all in. They ain't got no chips to put to the middle of the table. Man, they better get Dak together. They better get CD together. They better do something. It's looking bad.
So before we go back, so y'all know I stayed in Texas, so I have a lot of Cowboy friends that are fans, like literally, like when they found out that they did not get Derrick Henry, I promise you, I feel like my Facebook just shut down. They was like, "Oh, Jerry is so unserious. He's always talking this. We're finna do this. We don't do this. Why couldn't we pay him that money?" Like it was crazy. So like, trust me. I get it that he said that he's cool, he's calm, they do this every year, but y'all have a lot of things to address, and I don't think that can be done in the draft alone. And then this quiet off season, not making moves, you guys can't keep doing that. Like you gotta go make a splash at something because you need linebacker help. You still need. I still say get a wide receiver on the other side of CD. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? We don't know what Diggs is gonna look like. So I'm like, y'all have to really kind of really look at this and try to pinpoint this stuff out. Because again, the draft is just not going to just solve everything. You know what I mean? Dak is getting older. Y'all gotta re-sign this man here pretty soon. So it's just like what we doing?
Dak got some other issues. I'm reading on. Dak got some issues. Praise be to the Lord. Hallelujah. We hope.
So y'all didn't even pick up the phone. Y'all didn't go, "Hey, big head." Y'all didn't do none of that. Oh wow,
bad boy.
They should have known it was going to be tough to get Derrick Henry when they couldn't pull off the Zach Moss situation. That was an indicator right there that there was going to be some problems. There was some fiscal irresponsibility that was needing to be addressed. And it's crazy because Washington took 3 or 4 and took half their squad over there, so I expect them to have a little bit of room. They didn't took the coaching staff, they didn't took the offensive line. They don't want Tyron, but they need Tyron. But
I'll be cool with Tyron on 1 year deal.
I don't understand why they can't make no move. What's going on? Somebody said Jerry got to pay up on some of these babies. I ain't heard. You ain't heard of me though.
So you got a question from Ichigo.
No, you didn't even have to put his question up there. That's my cousin. You didn't even have to sit over there and do all of that. Not just playing. Like you didn't even have to put that up there. We had this conversation. So Kyle Pitts, since we kind of talking about Atlanta a little bit, Kyle Pitts. So just to let y'all know this, Kyle has already talked to Kirk and told Kirk to get him the ball. So we're finding out that Kyle has been disgruntled this whole time with this quarterback situation that's going on at this moment. So again, more than likely, if Kyle can get the ball, he is going to re-sign with us. So I'm fine with that. Is give the man the ball. That's all we got to do. Give him the ball.
Oh, yeah, Kirk loves tight end.
Yeah, Kirk has a very nice.
Oh yeah.
Tight end, so y'all should be fine. He should be fine. I'm expecting great things. I hope Kirk don't let me down. I'm expecting great things from y'all. I hope y'all don't let me down there. Y'all was supposed to do something this past year. You know what I'm saying? Y'all
okay, so
this past year. So now y'all got Kirk the jerk.
I like the receiver. I like the versatility.
Y'all done went and got Mooney, Rondale Moore. Y'all making some moves over there.
Nice.
Look, I'm just gonna say this. A lot of
I need
people
y'all to
have
stop
said
hating. I need y'all to accept Kurt. Accept the jerk.
okay, you know what? Let me say this. We would have probably accepted Kirk if Kirk wasn't about to be 36 coming off an Achilles injury.
Don't worry about all that.
Look, no, because they said he's
Last
supposed to be
time y'all was flying high was with another white boy who was 36. Don't worry about all that.
Hey, we was flying high, but he had a noodle arm. But we trusted that man. Some people didn't trust that man, but we trusted that. I trusted that man. I did that. I trusted him. I'm just saying.
Be all right. I'm gonna be all right. Kurt, don't let me down, baby.
Hold on. What did Mike say? I just got off my show. Did Mooney get signed to run track? I remember him dropping passes a ton. Okay, so about that, because a lot of people were saying that about Mooney. Now, let's be real here. Let's look at the quarterback situation that was up there in Chicago. Let's look at it.
Yeah.
Let's look at that quarterback situation and the way that this man has not been able to, like, Chicago has not been able to find a trade for this man. And you got Sam Howell and Desmond Ridder getting traded before him. It's kind of speaking a lot about.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do Justin like that. He might have been Justin might have been chose already. We can't bring down this black man trying to bring up this other black man. Darnell Mooney, I ain't never heard y'all say another word about Darnell Mooney until he got on your team. So listen here, Darnell Mooney, you decent. You got a chance to redeem yourself. I hope you do better. But don't be talking about it was Justin for that he only caught 400 yards in receiving last year. It wasn't all Justin for. But good luck to you with Kirk Cousins in Atlanta, Darnell Mooney. Uplift all us black men today. Hallelujah.
Oh
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
We are going to touch on the Justin Fields thing because I definitely have this weird feeling that I will talk to you guys. But one thing I do want to talk about is though, like the wide receivers that you guys just acquired. Just said Darnell Mooney, and you guys traded for Rondell Moore. Now Rondell is kind of interesting. Was with the Cardinals. He definitely had some flashes, but I think the biggest thing that you will hear from him has been kind of slightly inconsistent play, but mainly injuries have been the biggest problem with him so far. How do you feel with, because the biggest problem for y'all was passing the ball, quite frankly, with the weapons you guys have. So what do you feel about this now, especially in your division? Like, it could definitely be living up to the potential of the offense that you've been dreaming about.
Again, this kind of puts me back in a remind of when we had Matt Ryan, where we, back in the gap when you had, your Roddy White, your Julio Jones, your Taylor Gabriel. Like, this kind of puts me back in that mind of it, and I like it because, again, we got somebody that's a sure, definite passer. That's number one. And again, we all know we got a tweener with Kyle Pitts. I want to see more from him. I want to see Drake pop out. I really do. I want to see Drake be able to do what the things that we drafted him to do. So again, I really do feel like this offense has gotten a lot faster too. You know what I mean? Not just tall and big, but actually some speed there. And we had that before, especially when we made our Super Bowl run. We had that speed that was right there. So again, the addition of Bijan, you still got, Tyler Algier, you still we're right now this offense is clicking. I'm still looking for I really kind of want them to go and try to see if we can pick a tackle. Jake Matthews is not getting any faster. He's getting along, so this is about time to kind of replace that. If I can find me another right tackle in this draft, I can cut my losses with Caleb McGarry and move that on. Bergeron came off very well this season. Lindstrom is Lindstrom. So if I can just figure out that right tackle spot and start working in my left tackle of the future, I'm fine with the offensive line as well. So again, I want to see what Zach Robinson is going to do for us. Like I said, he's a rookie offensive coordinator. So again, you have a vet here who is very comfortable in this system, who can actually figure out this system. You get your quarterback of the future, sit behind him, learn a little bit, and I'm good moving forward. Again, people are still saying can still take a wide receiver in the draft, and I do agree. If Ladd McConkey just falls into my lap, give me Ladd. Okay, I am pushing that agenda. I want Ladd McConkey. He needs to come here because I need a technician. Give me Ladd. That's all I'm saying.
I think y'all might be. I don't want to bust your bubble, and it may work out for you, but I think low key y'all might be out of the lab business. When I look at Rondale Moore and I look at Mooney, they got very, 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 to me, similar skill set.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if you guys are going to look, for another slot guy in this draft. I think it's very, very important that Drake, like you said, takes that next step, develops his route running ability, and again is available for Kurt to throw the ball. Kurt's going to want to sling it. But if not, though, if he doesn't make that next step, or if this front office kind of sees him possibly as a number 2 type of guy, it wouldn't surprise me if you guys jumped out and got one of these great wide receivers. Because again, through the first 2 rounds, I mean, those are guys who can possibly be high-end wide receiver 2s, possibly wide receiver 1s throughout those rounds. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're not quite sold on one of these guys that they have in camp already or on the team already to get one of these wide receivers. But y'all in good, man.
Yeah, somebody said we might be carrying 6. Yeah, somebody said we might be carrying 6 wide receivers this year. So we'll see. Again, I'm just excited to kind of see where this is gonna go. How this is gonna go this season. Again, we got a whole new regime in here, a whole new head coach, whole new offensive coordinator. They got their hand. Terry over here cooking. He cooking in the kitchen.
Ladd McConkey may sound like a movie character playing football on the silver screen.
Y'all gonna leave that Georgia boy alone.
He surprised me.
We do got another guest. What's going on, bro? What's going on, Jay? How you doing, man? Oh, I thank you.
Yeah, I was muted. My bad. I mean, nothing much, man. I'm doing good on a Thursday night.
Jamie.
What's going on, man? What's going on? What's going on?
And what's going on, E?
Look, that's my other Georgia friend. See, y'all see, he know about Ladd. He know about Ladd.
Yeah, I definitely know about Ladd. That's someone I really know about. And I mean, we sitting at 34, so you know what I'm saying. We are not going to take Ladd. You never know. You never know.
No, they gotta get they gotta get a little white boy in there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, everybody
Hey, a lot of people were saying if Belichick was still there, that was his Julian Edelman right there. I'm just saying, I know about the Patriots. I'll be watching y'all. I'm gonna be watching y'all.
Before we talk about the young man who gonna catch the ball, we got to talk about one of these young men who gonna be throwing this ball, man. Who would you like to be the quarterback of the Patriots, and who have you heard is the preferred choice of the front office and the team, if you don't mind me asking?
So I mean, I'm pretty tapped in with the fan base, because I mean, like, we be having our spaces on Twitter and we have group chats or whatever. Me, I differ from the whole fan base. Like, I'm a Jaden Daniels guy. Like, I want Jaden Daniels on the team. That's who I want. But unfortunately, I mean, we won a couple games we ain't had no business winning. Like, we beat the Steelers in Denver, and so by doing that, I mean, we gave the Commanders a second pick. And so, I mean, like I said, like, I want Jaden because I just feel like his career is going to be a better career than Drake May. That's just the way I feel. Now, I mean, like, the fan base wants Drake May, and I'm not here to like down on Drake May or nothing like that. Like, I just think he's going to take more work. Because for me, the film that I've watched of Drake May is the situation for him is his throwing motion and his mechanics and his footwork. So like, he needs to kind of shore that up, and I just think whoever drafts him, he's not going to be able to play right away. I think he's going to have to sit a whole season regardless. And the Patriots have kind of set that in motion by signing Jacoby Brissett in free agency. So I think their goal, no matter if they draft Jaden or Drake, that they're going to sit the quarterback. The quarterback not going to play week 1. I mean, they might get in there middle of the season or end of the season or whatever. But yeah, like, but now as far as the team goes, like, I've heard different things. Like, I've heard that Mayo, who was our new head coach, he really liked Jaden Daniels. That's what I've heard. I mean, but I've also heard that the GM for the GM is like, he's going to pick whoever's there, like, because I guess the main issue is you don't know how many times you're going to get up in the top 5. Like, that doesn't happen that often in my franchise.
So
Yeah.
like they're like hell bent on taking a quarterback. There's people that write for the team that say that they should draft Marvin Harrison and just draft a quarterback later, like someone like a Bo Nix or Spencer Rattler or guys like that. But I feel, like I said at the beginning, I feel differently. Like even if Jaden gets taken by the Commanders, like I would still take Drake May at 3. Like I still take him. He's got some elite traits, and I mean you know you got to give him a good quarterback coach, and just like work on those things. So.
Interesting. So I have a couple questions for you. So
Sure.
Talk about the state of your skill position. I think that has been kind of one of the problems you guys have had the past couple of years. There's definitely a opportunity for y'all. We just talked about it with Lab Conky, but not only you could probably get some guys in free agency to probably help, but this draft class is very deep with the skill position, especially a wide receiver. Is there some guys outside of the big three that you like? Like obviously we talk about Marvin Harrison, possibly him going for Malik Neighbors and Romeo Odunze. What are some guys that you're looking at to be added to the New England Patriots to help out the quarterback?
So for me, I've like since the season was over, and I mean I watched a lot of NFL, a lot of college football as well. So I kind of knew we was going to need a quarterback, and I knew that the top 3 guys, and I've been tier one wide receivers in the draft. I knew we weren't going to be able to get those guys, seeing as we need a quarterback. And so like this, just saying that, like the state of the Patriots is like we've never, outside of like Randy Moss, obviously, like we've never had like a constant stream of elite wide receivers. It's just not. It's not something that we ever had. It's just something that we don't obviously don't draft that well either. I mean, we in the last 4 to 5 years, I mean, like we've missed on a number of wide receivers from like N'Keal Harry to like way back in the earlier 2010s. I think his name's like Chris Jackson out of Florida. We drafted him. He was a buzz. And then we took Tyquan Thornton out of Baylor, and his route tree has been pretty limited. I mean, he's a super fast guy, but when your route tree limited and your hand's not that good, I mean that's just not a good combination to have if you're trying to be a wide receiver in the NFL. So that's just the state of it. I mean, like currently now, like I mean, obviously, like we were trying to sign Calvin Ridley, that kind of fell through. And so I mean, we brought back Kendrick Bourne, but the only issue with him is he tore his ACL. I think it was like October, November. So we're bringing him back. So hopefully he's ready to go. We cut Devontae Parker, who's on the Eagles now because they picked him up. The only other 3 existing wide receivers on the like in that room is Kayshon Boutte, and I don't know how much longer he's gonna be there with that whole gambling thing that he got caught up in. And then you have Demario Douglas, who we drafted last year out of Liberty, who's pretty much I would say the best wide receiver that we have currently right now. He's more of a slot guy. He's got the ability to get separation and just to get open. So I mean, if we don't get any more talent at that position, like he would literally be our primary target. And then we have Juju, who, I mean, long story short, when we signed him last year, I never wanted to sign him. I would have preferred to keep Kobe Myers. I told my fan base they was excited about it. I was like, I never wanted Juju. I never wanted because I knew he just wasn't going to fit the system that we're trying to run. And so it kind of stuck with him. So I mean, I seen that we missed out on Calvin Ridley. I actually wanted to sign Curtis Samuels, and I found about an hour ago that the Bills signed him. So yeah, I mean, realistically, on the free agency market, there's not really any other wide receivers. I mean, I would take Hollywood Brown, just because he would make our room better. But outside of that, there's just nothing left on free agency. As far as the draft goes, outside the top 3 guys, so we were looking in the second, third round. Like I'm looking at guys like like Xavier Leggett. I'm not Xavier Leggett, but I mean Leggett. I'm looking at Donnie Mitchell, who who had to stay at Georgia and was last playing at Texas. I'm looking at Malachi Corley. I think he's out of Western Kentucky. Like I learned about him during the season. That's a guy that I really like. And those are the guys in the second round I'm looking at. Like the guys in the third round would probably be like someone like Brendan Rice out of USC.
Marcus.
Marcus. And the Baker too. So
Marcus.
Those are the main guys. I mean, like Lad, like I don't like. The funny thing is, I don't think we're taking a wide receiver in the second round. I think we're taking an offensive tackle because we haven't addressed that in free agency. I mean, people in my fan base are talking about signing Tyron Smith, which At the beginning of free agency, that was a bad idea. Now, not so much because Trent Brown is not coming back. So we kind of need a left tackle. So if we were to sign Tyron Smith, it would let us draft a wide receiver in the second round. But if we don't, then we're going to need to take a tackle, and then we'll take a wide receiver third round. So I'm kind of looking at a Brandon Rice or a Leggett or a Baker. Or there's also the kid out of Holy Cross. I forgot what his name was, but he's kind of going up draft boards too right now. I mean, he had a pretty good. I think he was at the combine, I believe. So yeah, I mean those are my targets. Like I said, like I'm not gonna get a Rome or a Neighbors or a Marvin Harrison or even a Brian Thomas or Keon Cole. Those aren't guys that we're gonna get. So I'm pretty much settled on that already. So.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. E.
No. I was just gonna say because I know he mentioned. Are you which side of the ball you finna talk about?
I'm just finna ask about the whole off season because I'm looking at some of the additions that you guys made. You guys have a decent amount of money, but it looks like you guys have chosen kind of to keep a lot of the talent in house. If you will.
See, we were gonna do that because I was gonna ask about where they were going in the direction of the defense, though. But yeah.
A lot of talent in-house, and I feel like, and it just may be me not having my pulse on the team, but it feels like there needs to be a little bit more upgrading going on. Maybe not so much keeping the same guys, but some upgrading going on. How do you feel about the offseason so far, and what do you think needs to happen differently from a GMing player personnel standpoint? As you pointed out, the last 3 or 4 drafts have kind of been subpar for you. How does the New England Patriots replenish the talent level on their team?
I mean, from a team perspective, the defense, like if I talk about the defense first, I don't really have any issue with the defense. Like they pretty much brought back all the same guys. They let go of a couple guys, but for the most part, like they put the transition tag on Kyle Duggar, who I mean, he was a pretty good safety. Who I found out that a lot of teams actually wanted to sign. So I mean, we tagged them; they weren't able to do that. Defensively, they re-signed Anthony Jennings. He went to Bama. He was one of our best like run stoppers. For the most part, our defense is young, but they're pretty good. I mean, we drafted Christian Gonzalez in the first round last year. I mean, he's coming back off an injury, so he should be good. And we just had a bunch of corners go down last year to injuries, and I mean, like the defense is still able to keep it afloat. Now, as far as the offense goes, yeah, like in terms of this free agency, like I give them a B-. I mean, they haven't given out any horrendous deals. They're trying to keep their young talent, which wasn't really a Bill Belichick thing. Like Bill Belichick would try to play hardball with some of the free agent players that he would draft, and he just wouldn't sign them back. So I got to respect the fact that they resigned Michael Onwenu. I mean, who tackle. I mean, he was on a lot of people's list to sign either at the guard or tackle position. He's got that kind of flexibility. But yeah, like I mean, I was hoping when the news came out that they were pursuing Calvin Ridley that I mean they could get him. That just, I mean, like they offered $22 million, and like once I figured out how much they offered, and he went to the Titans, I think for like 23 or 24. I was actually okay with it. I mean, I would have loved to get him, but I think they should have transitioned their efforts when they didn't get him a couple of days ago. Like they could have tried to get Curtis Samuels. They could have tried to get Tyler Boyd. And there's some trading options that I mean they could pursue. I don't know if they're pursuing those options as of yet. They could try to trade for T. Higgins. I mean, there's reports that the Niners and the Jaguars are talking about Brandon Ayuk being traded possibly. I don't know if though it's been properly sourced or whatever, but those are just some things that I'd like my team to be involved with because you gotta be able to upgrade the wide receiver position. I mean, tight end wise, I mean, we signed Hunter Henry and we signed Austin Hooper, which is a good move. And they also added Antonio Gibson from the Commanders, which we needed a pass catching running back, which I like those moves, but I just feel like to start the free agency with about almost $100 million, and now you're sitting back, you still got about almost 60. If you're not going to pay outside players, then I'd rather them start extending guys like Christian Barmore, because I mean Christian Barmore is going to be up. He's going into the last year of his deal. I mean, hopefully before the season starts, they extend him. I mean, he's not going to get Christian Wilkins money, but I mean he's going to be like right under there. Like I anticipate they're going to have to pay him somewhere between 20 to 23 million per. Okay. And the other thing is like Judon is pretty much our leader on defense. And he got a payment, not a payment, but a salary adjustment last year. And he's going on the last year of his deal. So I don't think that he's going to play on that deal. So I think they're either going to have to extend him, or if they don't do that, they might have to just trade him.
Okay. You got to shout out to Judon, Grand Valley State University. Yes, sir. I'm a proud alum. Shout out to Big Mike from Detroit, Cass Tech. Awesome, proud alum. Yeah, baby, doing big things.
But I mean, that's what I was hoping to go in there and they'd spend some money. Haven't done that yet, but we're only in like day 4 of free agency, so I'm still gotta give him some more time. So.
Gotcha. So, quick question: you mentioned Antonio Gibson. What are your thoughts about him coming to New England?
As long as he's not running the ball between the tackles, I'll be just fine with it. Because the boy be fumbling when he runs the ball, and I mean, like, luckily for us, like we have Mondre Stevenson, so he's pretty good at running the ball between the tackles. He can catch it out the backfield too, but like Gibson for me would be a primary third down back that's just catching the ball at the backfield. I don't need him doing I really don't need him doing much more than that. Like, so I mean, like the less he's taking handoffs from my new quarterback, I think I think it'd just be for the best, pretty much. So
yeah, I'll say this about Gibson. Very good character, great guy in the locker room. I think one of the biggest flaws with him has been, his vision when he's running inside. And for a guy who's 6'2" and supposedly run a 4.39 or 4.44, it doesn't look like that when he's on the field. So definitely, I would consider him just to be a third down back. And it's best to just use him in open space when appropriate, because he will fall out of nowhere, and you're like, why in the world he's doing that? But Gibson, he's definitely a guy that can make some plays for you. If there's a way that Alex Van Pelt can get him back to 2020 Gibson when he scored 11 touchdowns his rookie year, I think that'll be a solid addition to you guys with your offense.
Makes sense. And I mean, talking about the running back position, like I also anticipate that they're going to draft a running back too. Not early, probably like 4th or 5th round. They'll probably get a running back. Because I mean, like I said, like Mondre's going into the last year of his deal, and I'm not sure they're going to pay him. I mean, like the way these teams are paying running backs, you just don't know if they're going to pay a running back. So I definitely think they're going to draft one.
Real quick question for you. You got a new coach over there, Jared Mayo. What is the expectation for him this year, and how much leeway do you think management is going to give him to turn this program around?
I mean, so my expectations for Mayo is like, so we won 4 games last year. So, with a bad quarterback situation, offense was one of the worst in the league. So my expectations is for this team to win about 6 or 7 games, depending on how the draft goes. Because we're obviously, free agency has opened up, and people have signed the teams or whatnot. So as long as they have a solid draft, like I don't see why they cannot win 6 games next year. I think that's a very goal that's obtainable. I mean, I don't think it's crazy. And for Patriot fans, it's interesting because like for the older Patriot fans like myself that have been watching the team for a while, like I watched Gerard play for us. I mean, he was our middle linebacker in a lot of them, championship teams that we had. So I just think that he has the kind of character to lead men, pretty much. And I mean, a perfect example is like Josh Uche, like he had better offers, with other teams. And he chose to come
I'm mad
back.
at y'all about that too.
I mean, you're mad. The Jags are mad. Like, I mean, there's so many fans.
I don't care. Look, I don't care about the Jags. The Jags gotta run me. The Jags gotta run me my fade. They gotta run me that fade.
Why? I mean, they didn't even re-sign Calvin Ridley though.
That's the whole thing. They let y'all sit over here and put the thought that he can go get some money in a way when he could have got some money there, and I could have got my 2nd round pick.
But either way, like. I mean,
they was gonna make that deal on whenever the deadline was. That deal was gonna make 3 minutes after it. So I mean, like talking about Mayo, like I think Mayo has an effect on the players because, like I said, Josh Uche, I mean, he had better offers. Like I think he had offers of making like 10, 11 million guaranteed, but he chose to come back to the Patriots for like a 1-year deal. I think it's like a $4 million deal that's guaranteed, and he can make up to 8. And I mean, he's saying the primary reason why he came back was because of the coaching staff. Like, our DC Covington, who was our D-line coach,
last year. And, I mean, like Gerard is obviously our head coach, and that's the primary reason why he came back to the team. So I feel like the team is in good hands with him. I mean, as far as the program goes, like we're in a rebuild. So I mean, I can give him a good 3 to 4 years. I mean, but I do want to see progress, and I don't link progress to wins in terms of a rebuild. Like, I just need him to rebuild the roster, and just like the players that we get on the team, whether they're free agents or from the draft, like he's got to be able to develop those players. And so that's what I'll be looking for the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, now, we're lucky enough to draft either Drake May or Jaden Daniels, and like that person, ends up being a franchise quarterback, and we start getting better than that. That's great. But I do expect it to be about a 2 or 3 year build. So,
okay. I mean, I'm with C. Henry. I mean, with you guys, signing some of the old guys back, like, and you're saying like a 2, are you confident with some of these the players that you guys are re-signing back to help you on that 2 to 3 year plan, or are you looking for them to kind of go get some young and a new talent in the draft, since you are drafting at a high position this year?
I mean, I definitely expect them to get talent in the draft. I mean, like, luckily, like, Bill drafted a lot of good, solid defensive players. So I mean, the majority of those players we kept that I wanted to keep. And offensively, like Michael Owenu, I wanted to keep him, and we did. There were players that I wanted to let go, like Devontae Parker. Like, I have no use for Devontae Parker at all. And so I mean, when the news came out that they were cutting him, like that definitely made my day. I think that was yesterday, so I was happy about that. And then there's just certain players on the team that we just did not keep, and I think that's a good thing. Like, I think overall, I mean, like, and obviously, like, we traded away Mac Jones. I mean, like, personally, I never wanted Mac Jones to begin with. Like, in that draft, I actually wanted to get Justin Fields, and we were almost there. And then the Bears traded up right in front of us to get Justin Fields, and I was kind of bummed because I knew we were going to draft Mac after that. And I mean, Mac is not a bad guy. Like, he's not any of that. It's just, whenever you got a rookie quarterback, you put him in a new system, and you have 3 different offensive coordinators in his first 3 years. Like, I think that's tough for anybody to be successful. So, I mean,
and it is.
So I mean,
like Justin, they got the same little story. I sound like Justin and Mac and Justin got the same story. 3 different offensive coordinators.
I mean, the only difference is, like, our defense was much better than the Bears. Like, that's the major difference. Like, and I mean, like, Mac was pretty successful his first year. I mean, he made it to the playoffs. But like, unlike Justin, like, Justin has better physical attributes than him. Like, he's got more arm strength. Obviously he runs the ball better. I just think he's overall better quarterback. So that's why I wanted Justin Fields and instead of Mac. So, but I mean, like, I think if you put Mac in the right situation with the right, like, weapons, I think he'll be like an average, quarterback in the league. I mean, I just think in our situation, he just was not built for the Patriots. That's all.
Yeah. Well, and that's funny that you say that, because I always believed and think that the Patriots had a different style, that not everybody can come to the Patriots and play. Like, for instance, when you guys got Cam Newton, I knew it wasn't going to work up there. I already knew. I'm like, Cam is not the style that fits with the Patriots. It's almost kind of like you guys are, like, in a sense, singled out from the rest of the NFL, because it has to be certain particular players. Like we were talking about earlier, Alad McConkey fits you guys. For whatever reason, he fits you guys because that's like he's the style of player that you guys look for. Like,
for whatever
serious.
reason, huh?
Hey, I'm not going down that route.
I need you to find somebody else who diverse, who fit too. I
it's
want some
hard to do
diversity
that.
to get in there too. I know it is.
You said more
I mean,
diverse.
but
Ty Law was up there for a long time. Shout out to Ty. He fit.
I mean, but the funny thing is, like, so the funny thing is about, like, having a white wide receiver. Like, we didn't even
wow!
I mean,
Breaking news: Devin White has just signed a 1-year deal with the Eagles.
Who?
Oh wow!
I mean, they do need linebackers. So
Yeah, they do.
I mean, he ain't really ain't that good, but I mean, hey, I guess so. Yeah.
Not really a coverage guy.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, like, that's kind of the like the thing that gets stuck on the pages. Like, we had a white wide receiver, but the funny thing was the one white receiver in the draft that got, well, not the one, but one of the white wide receivers that was linked to us the whole offseason last year. We didn't even draft him. So I mean, we don't always go for the quote unquote white wide receiver. So
Well, the thing about it is, Lad spent time at Georgia. He gets faded. He don't fit in that category. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, personally for us, like I said, I don't think we're taking a wide receiver in the second round. So I don't think. I mean, there's a chance Ladd might not make it out the first round. I mean, I've seen mocks where he gets taken 31 or 32. I've seen it. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I put it to you like this: if he makes it past KC, then whoever it is in that second round is going to be mighty happy if he makes it past KC.
Hey, look, she said he don't get faded, but he sure get 10 fades. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So Jay McMahon, you know what I'm saying? I've often heard you, man, in the different spaces, man. Shout out to Brink. If you had ideally, what would you guys grab in the first 3 rounds of the draft that you think would help you guys improve?
Well, I mean, obviously, like I said, first round taking a quarterback, whether that's Jaden or Drake. I mean, either one I'll take. So that's the first round. Second round, I'm gonna go tackle. Tackles I'm looking at would either be Jordan Morgan or I think the kid Paul out of Houston. Dude, the big dude. Like he's like 6'5", 350, something like that. Like he should be a solid left tackle. And then third round, hopefully, I mean Malachi Corley. Like I've been a strong supporter of Malachi for a while. If Malachi was gone in the third, then I'd probably take someone like Brendan Rice.
Okay, I think that's realistic, man. That's all right. You got to
there's a new era going on in New England.
Right. They got a black coach. We got to embrace that, Mayo. That's right.
Yeah,
and his brother supporting this team, man. They diverse.
I got a question for you, though. You talked about Jaden and Drake. What do you think about JJ McCarthy?
Yeah, that's a great question.
A possible fit for New England. Now you probably don't like him, right? But he's probably some people will
let the man talk. You ain't got to. You didn't ask the question. Let the man talk.
Yeah, I want to go into some more clarification. Okay,
you probably don't like him. That didn't sound right.
I'm just gonna sip my tea right now.
Okay, so
I mean, I ain't never been like so. Let me get on this thing with JJ. Right? I get all the hype, like I get it, and no, JJ is not Tom Brady Jr. It's not even close. I'm not gonna get into that. It's not even close. So I mean, my biggest problem with JJ is, man, like how am I gonna draft a quarterback that doesn't throw to the left side of the field that well? Like that's my whole issue. Is just like there's certain things that he doesn't do well. And I mean, I feel like, for me on my board, he's not even the fourth quarterback on my board. I mean, like if I had the fourth pick in the draft and the top 3 guys were gone, I would draft Penix, to be honest, because I think Penix might be the actual like.
No, don't you put that in the Come here, don't put that in the
I mean, Penix to me he might be the best thrower of the football in the draft. To be honest, like so. I mean, I just don't like. I get the hype because JJ's 20. I mean, he was on Michigan, the national championship team. I get the hype. I get it. I just wouldn't want to draft him because I mean, I just feel like you got to put him in the right situation where I mean, you got a good run game, you got good wide receivers, and I mean all that. And so I just don't think that's a fit for my team. And so I mean, like if you got teams like I heard like the Giants, like they're really interested in JJ for some reason. I don't really know why, but they are. I mean, because I feel like he's like Daniel Jones light. That's just how I feel. So, but I mean, he might be really good in the league. I just don't want him on my team. That's all.
Okay, he ain't everybody's cup of tea, baby. But we gonna see. Gonna see.
Here come that Michigan bias.
Ain't nobody. Listen. I'm done caping for him. We gonna see. We just listening and taking receipts. That's all we doing at this point. That's all we doing.
Yeah, I mean, like personally, like I do like JJ better than I like, Bo Nix. I mean, I'm not a Bo Nix guy at all. Like I watched him when he was at Auburn. Didn't really like him then. I think
we know him about Auburn, J. Mick.
And I mean, personally, I just think at Oregon, like I think it's easy to be an Oregon quarterback. I just think with the kind of weapons that they surround their quarterbacks with and the scheme that they run, I mean, the throws are wide open. So I just think, and I'm not saying Bo was a bad quarterback. I just I would not be drafting him in the first round. So.
And Mike said that he's a Daniel. He's not. Is he a Daniel Jones light?
Yeah, that's what I said. To me, he's Daniel Jones light to me, and I think Daniel Jones is better than him right now. Like I don't know how to turn out in the future. But I mean, like JJ could get better. Like I mean, my biggest complaint is I just don't think he got put in the offense where he didn't have to throw a lot. So I can't blame the kid for that. Like that's not his fault that he was in the office with, you know, I mean, like Blake Corum and you know, I mean, like Braylon, where they ran the ball great. So I can't blame him for that. But he just got to show me something. That's all.
I mean, I think this year, to be honest with you, you have probably 3 QBs that are like kind of solidified that they can go out there and you know, kind of help their team a little bit. And then you got the ones that there's still question marks that you're, like you said earlier, like you got some that probably needs to set. You know, you're like you said, you believe Drake May needs to set, you know what I mean? I didn't heard some people to say, you know, possibly let Penix set, you know what I mean? To try to help him, you know, get a little bit better, get a little bit more confidence with it. Cause you know, with his injury history, you know, so I feel like this year's quarterback class, we have a lot to choose from, but I think that it's still like, hey, you got Caleb Williams, then who, you know what I mean? But some people I didn't see some people. Now this is just me scrolling on Twitter and me just laughing and scrolling on Twitter. Now I've seen some people saying Jaden is over Caleb. So again, you got some people that look at particular things, but just like kind of how we discussed before, the quarterback position is the hardest position to scout. It's the very hardest position to scout because we have seen it to where we didn't see, you know, and I'm going to use Levis. I'm going to use him. He was good his junior year. Very good. Could have came out his junior year, could have did all of that. He stayed one more year. He lost a lot of weapons. He was still kind of injured in his senior year. So it didn't help his draft stock a lot. And then even when some people's like, oh, well, the class next year is going to be good. I'm not sold on Quentin Ewers. But everybody's saying that Quentin Ewers is a top guy. I'm like, I haven't seen it. Show me where at. Show me where it is. Shador, same thing with Shador. I need to see a season of Shador on consistency. I can't say that Shador is gonna come out and be the top guy next year either. I gotta see the consistency. You know, maybe if he would have came out this year, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. But staying a year can either help or harm some of these QBs. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a very hard position to scout. It's like we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because I've even had people in my fan base say trade the pick, stockpile picks, and go back in it. You know, I mean, draft a whole bunch of talent this year and go back in the draft. And I'm like, do you watch college football? Like, because I do. And the quarterbacks coming out next year, to me, this quarterback draft is much better right now. Like, I obviously can't speak to it because you got like guys like Jaden Daniels that kind of like exploded this past year. So you could have another
especially
guy
at the end of the season too, like closer to the end of the season where he really took off.
Yeah, so you could have a guy like that, but in my opinion, the next year's draft is not that strong. Like like you said, he gets hurt every year. Like it's a fact. Like I don't like to put the, you know, he's always injured bug on him, but that's kind of what's on his jacket right now. And then you also got Carson Beck, who people saying going to be a first round pick, and then you got, you know, I mean, Shador, like he said, I mean, Shador kind of got to show me, like he took, you know, I mean, like there's certain things that he needs to clean up in his game. And then there's even people throwing out the name of Drew Allard at Penn State. I personally think he's garbage. But, you know, they're his name out there too.
He's not first round. No,
is dumpster juice with sludge.
No, I would have took the kid from Ohio State before him, and he not at Syracuse. So no, I don't.
I mean, it's not how I feel. I'm just telling you what people have been telling me. That's for, you know, for the next year.
Drew Allard, no.
and like I said, we're doing this based off of what we've seen this past season. We don't know how this season is going to come. Like Mike says, Shador wins and he will jump up draft boards. That's true, but it's still going to be a knock on him. I mean, look at Bryce Young and look at CJ Stroud. A lot of people had Bryce Young higher than CJ Stroud, and then, you know, I hate to put it like this, but once he got into the league, CJ showed that he had the mechanics to where it could have been either him or Bryce. You know what I mean? But because of some tests and people like, well, he can't run. Okay, let me go ahead and throw this facts out. Bryce Young was at Alabama. Everybody know that almost all Alabama quarterbacks at least win one national championship. He hasn't done it. So it's just, again, it's hard to scout this and tell what's going to happen. We don't know.
Part of the reason he didn't win no chip is because of us. That's part of the reason why he didn't win
I know chip. That. I just love that we didn't let them do that. It's so exciting.
But I think
But
also, CJ Stroud, he was going against the Ohio State quarterback bias a little bit. Like you said, the testing didn't quite go his way. So I think that kind of hurt him. And then you did have CJ, Bryce, who was kind of from that Alabama pedigree. Tua had kind of set the bar, high there, along with Jalen Hurts. So it was kind of, it felt natural. But again, folks, I'm not gonna say they got it wrong, but 1 year under the belts, it looks like they got it wrong. It looks like
year three. Year 3 is gonna tell us everything. Just like I hate to say this about Trevor Lawrence. I haven't seen what a lot of people seen in Trevor Lawrence, and we're past the year 3 now. We're past the year 3 now. So give these QBs time. Again, we just don't know. And I do agree with what Mike said too. Sometimes you have to see sometimes these teams think that their offense is structured for these QBs, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not. Like you said, Mick, like you had Mac Jones. He had 3 different offensive coordinators in 3 years. That's not going to help any type of rookie in their success. That's not going to do anything. That don't even sometimes help vets, to be honest with you. Matt Ryan, every time he got a new offensive coordinator, it took him a year to get used to it. So we had a down year, and then we had a good year, and then bam, they were gone. So it really just all depends on the offensive scheme that's running, and just, the talent around the quarterback too. I'll say that plays a major factor in it. If you ain't got a good offensive line, your rookie ain't going to look too high. That's Carolina, I'm looking at you.
But the funny thing is, like, Carolina, though, some of their moves they made during free agency, I actually like a lot of their moves. Though. I think they really, trying to improve their team, though. So.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is when you kind of go back and look at the dumb mistakes that they made, you could have had 2 first round and a second for Burns, but you let him walk for a second and a 5th. Like, you could have put yourself in the category to build on that to help your rookie out. Like, so again, I feel like Carolina is finally kind of learning from their mistakes a little bit. But yeah, they're quietly doing some things. We just have to see in the season if they're gonna pan out or not.
I mean, they gotta look better than they looked last year. I gotta, signing a couple guards, or getting some more pieces on defense, getting Deontay Johnson. Their offense gotta be at least better, because it was pretty bad last year. So
exactly, we'll see. We'll see. I still got them 4th in the NFC South, so I'm good. There's only 3 teams in the NFC South that I recognize. Okay, only 3. I don't know who them is. I don't know who the Panthers are.
Little bruh.
Just that's very much little bruh now, for real.
Well,
that really is.
Well, J. Mick, we appreciate you coming on Enters the Lab podcast and giving us your insight on what is going on in New England and having a little chop up with us. You also, as well, is welcome to come on this show and talk ball with us.
And I appreciate it.
All right, man. You have a safe night.
All right, thanks.
Have a good one.
Bye, Mick.
See, Henry, I'm gonna hurt you, man. You couldn't let me. You couldn't let me get to my narrative. I was about to ask.
First of all, the way that Deuce popped in here with that side,
he popped in when he said he couldn't throw to the left.
Okay. Yeah, what I'm saying. Listen, man. I love JJ, man. And listen, I knew he was gonna blow up. I hope that the ascension continues to happen. I hope he lands somewhere, in a good situation where he can show y'all right away, man. Left to right, right to left. He's the guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Okay. Again, we're gonna see. JJ might be the best out of the class. Who knows? We don't know. I mean, again, it's just right now.
That's what Jim Harbaugh say. I don't know.
I mean, hey, all quarterbacks are going to have their strengths. They're going to have their weaknesses. It's up to the team to develop these strengths and these weaknesses. If this is just a weakness, it's just a weakness. But it's up to them to develop it. If he lands in a good position to where they can develop it to where he can throw left, then he can throw left. But again, it may take a little while. You never know, depending on his learning ability. Just never know. But, these QBs can turn into something different. I'm just being honest. They can turn into something different. Just saying.
I feel like he's just like right here, had in his hands, just writing like this.
Oh no, man! Listen. I'm feeling good, man. I'm sipping a little something. I'm feeling real good, man. Free agency is going real good. Brad is making moves under the darkness of night. I see the Commanders is putting it together, man. They didn't draft it. I mean, they didn't sound like 16 people. You know what I'm saying? They got Adam Peters out there looking like the handyman. He out there patching every hole up he can, baby. He out there working, baby. He out there working.
Bruce Wayne.
I mean, shoot, the Commanders got to do something, man. They got to do something.
Y'all taking all the players. Jay Mick and them can't even get no players. You know what I'm saying? They got just much money as y'all. They can't even get nobody, man. Look at y'all, man. Look at y'all. Look at God. Y'all been praying. Hallelujah.
Hey man, it's just that time, bro. I'm trying to tell people, bro. Once we get certain people out there, the DC gonna be a place that everybody want to come back and play for.
Y'all this right, man. If y'all maneuver this right, y'all doing a good job. If y'all maneuver this right, man, the Texans.
So y'all gonna get a safety?
Could be possible.
I mean, we just signed Chin, so we'll see how that work out. I don't see Cam Curl definitely coming back. He didn't get the numbers that he wanted,
or not yet.
You said what?
I thought Curl signed with somebody or not yet.
No, Curtis signed with somebody. Currently signed with nobody yet.
Okay, I could have sworn I heard his name being called.
Couple tackles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, tackles. Some I'm looking at. I'll be cool with a Tyron for 1 year, but if they want to get their guy, probably use those 2 picks to trade up first round, get a guy. I'm cool with that too. We got options. We got options after we get this quarterback.
Okay.
But somebody already, as of right now, looked like they got their quarterback situation straight, as they were at number 2 last year and they drafted CJ Stroud. Mm-hmm. We got this Houston Black Swan. How you doing, Miss Swan? How you doing?
Doing great. How y'all doing this evening?
Hey, how
you doing? We are doing well.
Hey, E.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. And can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I want to make sure my mic not too loud. But Curtis Samuel did sign. He signed with the Bills.
Yep. Yeah, I think it was 3 years, 30 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 330. Yeah.
Yeah, he won't get that with us, respectfully. But let's go ahead and talk about the Texans. So Texans have made some moves after they made it to the divisional round in the playoffs this year. CJ Stroud was Offensive Rookie of the Year, one of the best quarterback seasons all time for a rookie that we have witnessed. So let's talk about some of the moves y'all have made so far. Danielle Hunter going to be on the opposite side with Will Anderson. What do you think about that move so far?
I love it. It's going to be nasty. I wouldn't want to be in my division seeing them come after my quarterback. So, but it is what it is. I was a little disappointed with not getting Eric Armstead and him going to the Jags, but I was being greedy. So looks like I'm gonna be doing that in the draft, and that's okay. But some of the other depth guys and backups, we signed Foley Fulikasi. We also did Danico Autry. Look and see him and shaking his head.
That's the one I wanted. That was a nice little deal. I think that was like 2 for $10 million. That was a nice little deal too. Yeah, I'm heard about that.
Yeah,
I'm heard about that.
Yeah, so we beefing that up. We coming after the quarterback. We was doing it last year. We just gonna have to be able to do it against the big boys. So D'Amico and them know they needed to step it up. So I love it. I know the guy that you drafted, C. Henry, and he may have been on your team, E. The corner.
Jeff Okuda, yeah.
So he had a nice season with you.
Yeah, but they're looking into going into another direction, which we already kind of figured. If we can keep them, cool. If not, cool. We weren't. But
what I liked is that he had folks was down on him, and he came to you all, and he looked really nice. So it's like, okay, putting it back there with Stingley.
Yeah, he got injured there a little bit close to the season, but the only thing that we kind of noticed with him was just with the bigger guys, the bad angles. That's kind of one thing that we did, that we noticed a little bit with him, but he was good. He was good. It was just sometimes he can get lost. He can get lost out there just a little bit, but again, he working in a new system, being injured, not really getting a full training camp too as well, because he got injured in training camp and he didn't really come in until like we started the season. So again, if he can have a full healthy off season, a full good training camp, get out there and get a little bit, I feel like he can be solid. It's just with us, it was just kind of like a bad little outing, but he did what we needed to do, and I'm fine with it. I'm just mad at y'all about my Daniel. Okay, y'all better take care of my Yachty brother. I know he from Texas, but y'all better take care of my Yachty brother. He could have came here, but we can't be tax-free money.
I'm say
the state of Texas don't have no taxes.
Yeah, so and it was 48 million fully guaranteed out of 49. So he got all his money.
Yep. Yep. So,
but he said in his presser today was, what truly tipped it over was the Cleveland Browns Texans football game, because he lives here, so he was at the game, obviously with family and so forth, and it was like he said, it was just infectious, how it was with our team, the excitement with the city, with the coach D'Amico. That's the biggest change, is our head coach. I mean, we had our GM, but you didn't have the right head coach to change a culture. And as y'all know, let's face it, we spent the 2 previous, or you say 3, just being dragged through the mud, self-inflicted, a lot of it. But to watch how it changed around in 1 year, because folks kept saying, well, it may take about 3 to 4 years. I hope y'all give him time. I'm like, I don't know why we can't do it in 1 year, because I looked at the team that went 3-13-1 and watched us blow at least 3 games, which I'm grateful for, which it's recorded, so I won't say what we were doing, but I know they were doing it. But anyway, but I saw that team, even with inferior coaching and playing out of position, this team just having the right coach, adding pieces, get a quarterback, you can compete, at least in our division.
Talk to him.
That was the thing.
That's what I'm trying to tell these Commander fans. So they like, I just want to win 7 games. Listen, man, y'all got 100 M's, and y'all got 6 picks in the top 3. I just seen Houston do it, and I don't think they had 100 M's. Y'all can do it too.
No, but see, but this is the thing. I told Swan last offseason, I said, out of everybody out of the AFC South, people better be on the lookout for Houston, because I said they're doing things sneakily. And when you have a team that's doing things sneakily, especially the way they did their draft last year, I said they're going all in. Ain't no 2 to 3 years. I said that probably last year was going to be that year where they kind of hit that last little rough and bump, and this year they was going to come out guns a-blazing. They coming out guns a-blazing this year, but they didn't hit that rough and bump, so they finna carry this on. Like, Houston is a sneaky team. That's the problem.
Sneaky team.
They're a sneaky team because they did everything so quietly. Nobody wasn't like, there were some people that they were like, who is Nico? What is that gonna do? They don't have no wide receivers, and people found out real quick who he was. I'm just saying.
Oh man, I want to take Dale. I thought he would still be there. Okay. But I like
Falcon fans wanted Tank. We didn't mind. We didn't mind that Tank was on people's board with that. So yeah, I mean, again, Houston did what a lot of people didn't think, and I think a lot of people kind of down that on CJ. Now, yeah, there was questions with you guys with your offensive line, like, was the offensive line good enough to protect CJ? And they held up. They held up.
And let me speak on that. So the first thing we did was last March, shore up the O-line. We already had our bookends. We had Titus Howard and we had Laramie Tunsil.
Alabama State.
Our interior was weak. Kenya Green, who we drafted the previous year, he got beat up real bad in his rookie year. You know, Deuce is one of his teams, beat him up bad. They treat him like a little rag doll. They did. But we knew a weak interior. So they traded for Shaq Mason from the Bucks. So you took care of the right guard. And we needed to solidify the left guard and our center. We extended our two guys on the bookends and went into the draft. We drafted two guys, second round and in the fifth round.
Mhm.
We never started the old line that we went into the off season with
You're right.
at
Yeah,
all.
that's right. That's true.
So they never developed the continuity. We were truly, except for Shaq Mason, who played all season, nobody played the whole season other than him. We
Impressive.
went down to the third and the fourth guys, and that's not exaggerating. I mean, literally, we did. And I got to give props to my O-line coach
Mhm.
for actually managing to do that, because there are teams that can't do that with their starting O-line, let alone when you get to just your backup. But to get the 3 to 4, and if you check, CJ didn't get sacked as much as you think he should have. I think he's like 30, something close to 40, possibly.
Yeah.
But for a rookie, you would have expected he would have been close to, 50, 60s.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. So it was a commitment to do the O-line. It just health got in the way. So when people say, well, yeah, your O-line did well, yeah, that was not the O-line that's supposed to be out there, because we got over $100 million on that O-line, okay? I think like about
Ooh.
130. Yes.
So
So,
let me ask you this.
mhm.
You guys definitely did good in free agency so far. You actually added Aziz Al Shair is another guy that I really, really like. But you traded for Joe Mixon yesterday. What effect do you think that's going to have on this young offense, and how is that going to help CJ Stroud? I thought you had a pretty decent back in Damian Pierce and Singletary, but what can Joe bring to the table that's a little bit different and a little bit and that can help this offense going forward?
Okay. So one thing, we also extended Joe Mixon this afternoon and gave him 3 years, 27 million.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so he's here.
Okay.
Obviously, D'Amico and them feel like, yeah, he's going to be a major contributor. One is he could do the zone running. That's where Damian Pierce struggled at. He is a power back, bruiser, run between the tackles, straight up the middle. The ability to see holes is where he struggles, because it's that vision thing, because that's never what he's ever asked to do at Florida. He indicated it was more of a struggle than what he thought, and that's something he said he would work on an off season. However, you can't sit back and say because he was this rookie sensation, the previous season, that we will just run it back. You do need someone who can catch out of the backfield. So he's not CMC. However, you can use him that way. And I think that's what Slowick, because this is a Kubiak Shanahan offense. So
Yeah.
they like guys who can pass block. You have to catch out of the backfield. You need to be able to cut back. You need to be able to run through the tackle. So he could do all those things. He is still a very good back. So I expect him to open it up, because if you think about it, Singletary in the second part of the season when he got the start, it looked a little bit better. The offense didn't stall as much, and there were holes that were there. That's something we still have to do better at our run blocking. But Joe Mixon will make up for that the same way CJ can make up for some plays when your offense, fails to get a block, or they don't hold that block long enough. So that's what I'm looking forward to, because that only opens it up for Nico and for Tank and for Dalton Schultz, for Noah Brown, and whatever rookie we bring in. We still have Mechie. We don't know how that's going to work out. This will be his true first full off season where he will be working from start to finish, whereas he was coming off of his cancer treatment when he came into the off season. So now he's truly played some game reps. So now you know the speed of the game. We have a rookie, Xavier Hutchinson, made contributions. So it's really exciting time right now for the offense, but we still need another running back, at least two. You know, tight end. And like I said, I would at least want another wide receiver, if not two, because I don't believe in, I don't mind pushing folks. I want to be like your team. I you know, hey, I want to throw up 30 points minimum a game, you know, and then let my defense just pin their ears back.
But my thing is, I believe that you guys can. In all retrospects, again, CJ had a very overachieving. I think a lot of people kind of underestimated CJ a lot, and didn't think that he was going to have the season that he had. But just looking at going back and looking at some of his games, and even some of the things that I can tell that he's going to be working on. He's zoned in. I do believe that you guys can. You know what I mean? You got the offensive weaponry. Like, again, how many picks do y'all have this year?
We have 5 and 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth, and then we don't have a 5th or a 6th, and we have 3 7s. So
Okay.
the first
So are y'all
5,
looking for another wide receiver?
Most definitely.
Okay.
According to D'Amico at the combine presser, he indicated he needed someone that had separation, that could keep the chains moving on third down. So Tank can do that, but the moment when Tank went down, the offense changed. Did Nico get his? Did we still score to an extent? Yes. Were there certain teams we could beat up on? But if you watch that Ravens game, without a solid run game, we didn't have a chance, because those big boys are going to be coming after you. The Chiefs with Spagnuolo with that defense, I mean, you got to have more than one. So if you take one away, you're not leaving one guy forced to do it. I'd rather have 2 other guys. If somebody goes down, the offense shouldn't have to change significantly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is there a receiver that you're looking at a draft that is your man crush, I would say, that you would love to see CJ throwing the pill to?
I'm a greedy woman, so I have 3. So these are my realistic ones. We're not talking about the guys that are up there at the top, but realistically, that could be at 23. So I fluctuate between Brian Thomas Jr. and A.D. Mitchell and Xavier Worthy. And for the record, I'm a Longhorns fan, die hard. So,
well, AD is a Georgia Bulldog first.
No. I understand that, but when he was drafted, I know where he came from. When he gets drafted, it's gonna say from the University of Texas.
Well, let me ask you this.
It ain't gonna say Georgia Bulldogs. It's gonna say from the University of Texas. When you put that burnt orange on, you are a Longhorn for life. But yes, so I would love to have. It's really trying to pick between 2 children that you love, between AD and Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy is in the same category to me with Tank. He has the true speed, but their styles are similar. Whereas Adonai is a little bit bigger. So to me, I can get the best of a big receiver like Nico, but with the speed of Tank. So if Tank is out and Adonai's on the field, you're still in trouble. If Nico is down the field and it's Tank and it's, AD, it still can be ugly. And Noah Brown or whoever can be sitting there in zone just cleaning up.
Makes sense.
How do you feel about your corners? I saw someone asked about Steven Nelson. Is he coming back? Do you want to get younger there? How are you looking to draft 1 or 2 of those guys? What do you want to do at the cornerback position?
I wanted Kendall Fuller, but he gone to the Dolphins. But anyway, no, I wanted a shot at him. But yes, if Steven Nelson came back, I would not want him to be back as a starter. I would want to be a little bit younger. And our secondary took some hits because, one, when you was talking about Akuda in the sense of him taking bad angles, I love Jalen Petrie, don't get me wrong, but he got that problem too. And when he takes the bad angles, it be for big plays. Missed tackles. So I need someone stronger. So I got Stingler on the side, just help, but he needs to stay. He's on that side. He's good. So I need a younger guy on the other side. He doesn't have to be a burner, but I need you to be solid. I need another safety. I wouldn't mind having Justin Simmons. I'm just saying, just putting that out there, you know.
What about Cameron Curl?
Huh?
What about Cameron Curl?
I mean, I have to, yeah. I mean, let you come off the board, and then my mind will shift to, all right, I can't have you, so let me go on and go to my, second, third choices. Here's how I feel about the draft. This is me on what I want, not what they want. I would love to go wide receiver 23, second round. I'm okay going DT because I need a guy now since I didn't get the other guy. Or I could go linebacker, I can go edge. I would prefer if I could go and get a running back, but I know I can wait till the third round because there are some good backs in the draft. But I really want to go wide receiver with that 23rd pick. Now, my head coach, on the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes, let's say Byron Murphy Jr. falls to 23. I'm pretty sure he's going to snatch him. If there's a Chop Robinson, if there's a Darius Robinson there. So, or let's say, what's the young man's name? Is it Terran Arnold? I could possibly see that. Because I don't think Quentin is going to fall to 23. But if somehow he did, I would see them doing that. So
that'll be a pretty solid draft.
The thing is, it appears we did a lot of work, and we did because we needed to upgrade, but we still have a lot of work to do as far as concerned. It's not the same. We can compete with anyone now based on what the roster looks like just today. I feel like in any game, I can be in any game with anybody. Now, can I beat everybody? I wouldn't put my money on beating the Chiefs right now based on how we constructed. But do I feel like I can go in a game and compete with them? Yes. Do I think I'm better matched right now with the Ravens? I think I would do better this time around than I did the last time. So there's certain teams that will give me a run for my money, but I feel like I can be in any game. And I got number 7. Therefore, I believe I got a chance to win any game because young man only needs 46 seconds sometimes. I'm just saying. Ask the Bucks.
Look, I mean, like I said, y'all are a sneaky team in that South. Y'all people gotta watch out because again, after what we saw this past season, again, it's all eyes on Houston. Y'all making big splashes in the free agency right now. Again, if you guys can do that draft and get that draft where you guys need to be and get the pieces and fill the hole, I mean, again, yeah, we're not gonna say that you can go up there and compete and say that y'all can beat, KC or,
right,
like that. But again, there's no waiting. Y'all are there. Y'all are going to be in playoff contention this upcoming season. I just, give CJ one more year, and he probably can go out there and go toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. To me, my goal is I want to get to an AFC Championship game this season. Because to me, I've already been to the divisional round with a rookie, and I didn't have what I have right now, and they didn't know what they know right now. So everybody should be coming back, minus health, better. You're in the system second time, both from an offense and a defense, because nothing changed. We came back with our coordinator. We came back with our quarterback coach. So that didn't change. So there should be some continuity. And CJ being the second year in the system, you didn't play the whole season. You had time to study film and see how folks played you. Because guess what? These DCs had all off season to look how they think they can shut you down. Because you're a rookie. You surprised us. Oh, now I know what your tendencies are. Oh, I know what you like. So you've got to adjust as well. The other thing is, I make jokes minus the Tennessee Titans, and just for the record, I will never root for them, none whatsoever. I have personal opinions. I will keep them to myself. However, other than that, the rest of the division is not going to be a cakewalk. AR did not play but 3 games this past season, so we have not seen him play a whole season with the Colts, and the Colts were right there with us.
Yep.
So that is a young team that actually has a nice defense, good old line, JT. So I would say we're equal in many ways. The Jags, I got to see how they handle the disappointment of not winning the division, because they collapsed. I'm just gonna be honest. You can't be 8-3 and then wind up when you finish 9-8. So you collapsed because you should not have. So how do y'all handle that and come back? So I expect the division not to be that what folks call us ass or the worst division and so forth. So I expect for folks to be entertained this year, watching the whole division minus the Titans. But yeah, so I'll toot my team's horn, but I still have to respect the other teams in the division. They're not gonna just lay down just because I got rookie of the year and a defensive rookie of the year on my team, and we want to visit. Somehow you just go sit back and say, "Oh well, it's their division for the next 10 years." Oh my gosh, no.
I like what you guys are doing, man. You guys are definitely going in the right direction. You got the quarterback. To your point, if you're offensively, you guys can you can play so many different styles. You can, get in shootouts, if you will. You've got the weaponry on the outside and the quarterback. You now have a running back that is what I call a mutter. So in those games that come December and January, if you have to travel, to inclement weather, you got a guy who can, who's used to that and can produce under those conditions. Defensively, you add Daniil Hunter and Danico Autry to that defensive line with Willie Anderson. Now you're trying to get after all of these quarterbacks in the AFC. You're trying to get after Patrick Mahomes, who has a little bit of a problem at that right tackle spot. You're trying to get after Burrow, who they don't know who their right tackle is going to be. And then you're trying to get after Corral Lamar. You know what I mean? So I think you guys are definitely putting it together in the right way. You guys get a little bit better on that back end. Again, you guys are going to be a young problem over there in the AFC. Kudos to Houston, man. They're doing a great job this offseason.
Facts.
Thank you.
Facts. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what CJ is really going to be this upcoming season, because you already know that sometimes people say that, hey, a QB has a good first year. They have that sophomore slump. I don't see that coming from CJ, honestly. I really don't. I feel like he's going to be really more improved, and I think he's going to learn a lot from his rookie season. So I'm excited to see him, and I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for you guys down there. Even though I'm not a Texan or a Texas person, I'm still rooting for him.
And shout out to man. I was down there for the Final Four, man. Hey, man, listen. They gonna get some free agents to go down there for sure from years to come, because that's a beautiful city, beautiful food, beautiful people. You throw in there no state taxes. Now, hey, I see y'all living down there. Everybody almost got a mansion down there too. I'm trying to get down there too.
Look, until them property taxes hit, let me tell you about
she don't even want to show us where she stay. I know you in a mansion down there.
I wish.
Look,
but
you better tell them and let them know until them property taxes start hitting. Yeah, no state tax is good until them property taxes hit.
Yeah, but here's the difference: is when you making that kind of money, them property taxes don't mean nothing to you.
Exactly.
So for them, it don't mean nothing. That's just more house they can have.
Exactly.
Beautiful city though. Beautiful.
But see, you know you was down here just because of the women. Don't be talking about it was the food.
Well, the food is good too. Now they good too. They look nice too. I'm not fronting. Everything. 31 flavors down there. Baskin Robbins, fellas. Baskin Robbins. Go down there and get you a scoop if you eligible. That's all I'm gonna say. And you can get a single scoop, a double scoop, or a triple scoop if you're ready, with sprinkles and all. That's all I'm gonna say. Houston got it.
Lord Jesus. It is what it is. So other than that, I mean, look, I'm over here looking at the contract. I see it. Okay, so Jeff only got 1 year. I don't know why I was thinking 2. And I think he said 1 year too.
How
Yep,
much?
it's
How
a
much?
prove it.
How much cap room are you guys? Cap money do you guys still have? What y'all
I
working with
think we
down
have
there?
like 19. We had like 21, 22, and I know we signed Tim Settle, uh the DT from the Bills. I
Mm-hmm.
don't recall him as much, but we signed him. I think he got a 2-year deal, but one of those low, like 2 million or something. I think it was, or
Oh, y'all signed Settle?
yeah. Is he that good? Is he decent?
So Settle, we drafted Settle in Washington. He was a good rotational player when we switched to the 4-3. He's
Mm-hmm.
he's very explosive. He had the great move when he swim move going in between the tackles. I just think when he went to Buffalo, they didn't really use him much. And maybe you could probably ask the Buffalo Bills fans what happened when he went over there, because I think the expectation for him, because when we had our defensive line as deep as it was, he wasn't really the starter. He wanted to go become starter in Buffalo, and I don't think that
Gotcha.
really fulfilled that opportunity for him over there. But he's a solid player.
Okay, so he'll fit well in with
Mhm.
D'Amico. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
She's like, hold on, I need to figure out who my people
I
are.
didn't even know he was a free agent.
No, we just did him today. He
Okay,
came.
Oh,
He came.
okay.
Yeah, he came in yesterday, and then they signed him today.
Good stuff.
okay, that's
Good
dope.
stuff.
That's dope. All right.
So we don't have depth. We just got to get a starter for that DT.
Got you. Do you like any in the
Hey,
draft?
I forgot to ask you. Is your boy Allen available?
I think looking at these moves, I think he's gonna change his mind a little
No, hold
bit.
on. No, because I be hearing y'all be talking about I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him always complaining. I'm like, hey, I'll take him. What it'll take.
Yeah, it's I am kind of questionable on him at times, but I think we're just very emotional fans and stuff. He's been he's been our leader. He's been one of our best players past couple of years. It's just frustration, just consistently
Right.
losing. You coming from Alabama when you're consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was all it is. But I don't think he's going to be traded. I think he's loving what Dan Quinn has done and Adam Peters has done with the roster so far, and the way these guys come in on defensively, I think he want to be a part of that.
Yeah, I like what you're doing. To me, if you look at it, it's a pattern with anybody coming from that San Francisco tree of
Mm-hmm.
their philosophy. You can see
Mhm.
it, and I really do think you're walking away with a quarterback. Hope for you all that is Caleb, because I know that's what y'all want. But if it's not, maybe Jaden Daniels. I'm not a big Drake May fan. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not.
So hold on, Swan. So because
I'm
we,
sorry.
no, because Jay Mick just came on here and he said that he's not a Drake May fan, and it's a couple of people that are not so
I'm
sure. So
I'm
what
gonna
is
tell
your
you
reason
why.
of not being a fan?
His thing is, one is decision making, processing. That's a big thing for me,
Yeah.
and that's the thing when people say with CJ. And I had some questions because I was a big Bryce guy. Bryce is right. It was the whole thing. I didn't want CJ, because I said it's not that he wasn't talented. My concern was the receivers that you had. I didn't see you under siege enough because you had one of those top O lines. You had a run game, and obviously college. It's not like you're calling any plays or anything. So it just looks so easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the
Mm-hmm.
other concern was, I know in the NFL, you're not gonna be able to sit back there in that pocket. You're gonna have to be mobile and move. I don't want a quarterback that's running. Uh, that's just me. I want you to be mobile, run if you have to, but I want your eyes downfield. I want you processing. So CJ surprised me with that. His composure. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't matter what was happening, and this is a rookie. No matter what you was throwing at him, he was calm while all the chaos was happening. You got vets looking at you. We with you, 7, because that's what they said. We with you, 7. Like I'll give you an example. We had too many close games what we won like that, but the Tampa Bay one was the one that just really showed me what this young man was going to be. Your defense just gave up the touchdown because you're leading, and it's 46 seconds. You got 2 timeouts, and you got to go the length of the field. And 4 plays, you do it with 6 seconds left on the clock. You never panic. You didn't put the ball in harm's way. He had one game, he threw 3 picks, and I think everybody was so surprised when he did that. It was like, what's going on? But he takes care of the ball. He can read the defense, and this is a rookie that's doing this. When I see Drake May, his decision making,
I agree,
is poor, and the processing looks like, I don't know what you're seeing. You can't coach processing. You can't coach decision making. What you can do is you can treat a player like a Jimmy Garoppolo. Let me not let you put the ball in harm's way, which means I got to dial the offense back, and I got to dictate and limit what my offense does, because if I allow you to do you, then you're going to turn the ball over. There is nothing that handicaps CJ. Whereas to me, I look at Daniels, I look at Caleb. They kind of like those moments. So I don't think it'll be too big for them. They're going to make mistakes because rookies make mistakes. But they don't seem like they panic, even though everything around them could be chaotic. And to me, when you act like that, what happens is you're going to start getting happy feet. You're going to start ghosts. And you'll wind up being, I'm going to say it, the Zach Wilsons, the Sam Darnolds. And that's the fear I have with Drake, is that that's what's going to happen. Because if you get picked number 2, and based on what quarterbacks are doing coming out, folks going to put pressure that you got to be the face of a franchise, especially one that has been marred with a lot of issues, because I've been there, and being able to carry that weight. I don't know if Drake can do that, because if he doesn't come out looking like CJ, or if he doesn't come out looking like Burrow, these guys that have come out, or Josh Allen, he had his struggles, but you saw it. Then is he going to start making mistakes? And then I don't want the fans going like, man, see, this is what happened. We shouldn't. And then you get down on a young man, and now his confidence is shaken. So that's my concern.
Yeah, definitely agree. You was, I think that's why, the past couple of months I have, I'm starting to lean a little bit more with Daniels. I think Drake is a little bit talented, but the inconsistencies on tape, is for this fan base. The biggest question is, can they be patient and try to fix that? I just think Daniels right now is a better processor of the football and a better decision maker, and I feel like he can instantly come in and have that impact for a team. So appreciate your insight on that for the number 2 pick.
Yes.
And
Love it.
I look forward to our game this year. The Lions are playing Houston in Houston, and I'm gonna be down there for that game. We already got a guys trip scheduled. We just don't know what day it's gonna be, but I'm gonna be down there in full force, and I can't wait for that game. 2 upcoming teams. I think it's gonna be a Detroit-Houston Super Bowl, possibly. I'm putting it in the air.
I'm happy with that.
I'm manifesting right now.
We can do that.
Lord.
I know Igor, like, I don't know all about that.
I don't. I mean, right now,
he can't talk about the Super Bowl until she embraces Kirk the Jerk. Okay.
If you use my son right, which I think y'all will, y'all should be interesting team too.
Yeah.
Y'all did my boy Bijan wrong this past year.
You know what? We'll make up for it.
Please do. Hey, I had my money on him being rookie of the year. I'll take that. I got it, but I really had him as rookie of the year.
We'll make it up. Yeah, we'll have him breaking some records.
I got a question, E. Patterson, y'all released him.
Well, technically, it really wasn't a release. We really just didn't re-sign him per se, because it was really his last year. So we didn't know if we were gonna do that anyway, and then they're going a whole nother route. So if somebody want to use them, they can use them. But yeah, unfortunately,
he still got some in the tank for that return game and everything.
Return wise, yes, but I'm gonna say right now he's getting up there, and them injuries are keeping him down.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about, Swan. Swan not. She not satisfied. She trying to look. She trying to see who's available. Who out here right now? We got 19 to 21. What y'all want to do? I hear you, Swan.
Oh yeah, because I can restructure for my guy, my lineman. I can get 50 mil off of them.
Okay.
Look, she's already plotting.
Well, thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Thank
All right,
you.
we
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you hopping on the show tonight, and you, as we said to everybody else, you're always welcome back on the Enters the Lab podcast to talk ball and give us insight on the Houston Texans and what they're going to be doing this off season and the coming 2024 season.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Swan.
Bye.
All right, guys. So I guess that's it. Had 3 great guests on the show. We learned about their teams, what they want to do in free agency, some of the pickups they had, and also what they're thinking at their expected picks in this draft and what they think about some of our teams during this offseason.
Yes, I'm excited. We only got a couple more days against the draft, so we're getting close.
Yeah, a month out before my wonderful city is hosting that draft again. If you in the city, if you're gonna be in the city for the draft, pull up. I would love to meet some folks, have a couple drinks, tell you where to go, tell you where not to go. Listen, I'm here to help y'all, keep y'all safe. We don't want no calamities during that weekend, okay? No calamities, all right?
Man, you funny, man.
No calamities. Yeah. Okay.
But look, that's it for today's show. This is Enters the Lab podcast presented by RedzoneDCMedia. Next week, we're still going to be talking free agency, but we got a couple of big dates. I'm talking about pro days. We're talking about USC, we're talking about LSU, and we're talking about North Carolina in the next couple of weeks. This is Enter the Lab. C. Henry and Lady E. We'll see you guys next Thursday, live at 6:30.